Hello there. I hope you are having a fantastic week. Have had a beautiful month until now. Here we are, 1 week into November. Crazy. It certainly goes quickly, and I hope all is well with you. Glad to be here with you live. Missed you last week. I'm going to be going live a half an hour earlier for the next few weeks. So I will be here this time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, uh, obviously today, and the same next week and the weeks after as well. All right. Schedule's shifted a little bit. So I hope all's well with you, that you're having a fantastic week, all set for a beautiful weekend. Life has continued to be quite busy for me, which is good. It's about creating things that hopefully are going to benefit as many people as possible, and so I'm super excited about that. That's what it's all about. All right, and what I'm going to be doing is answering questions. Uh, so if you've got questions, you're going to want to get them posted as early as you can. We always run out of time. I've got an hour with you today because I'm here half an hour early. I actually have another call now every day at 12:30. So instead of starting at from 12 and going from 12 to 1 Eastern, it's going to be 11:30 to 12:30 these next few weeks. But if you have a question, you're going to want to get it posted as soon as you can. Dean asks, should I fast 24 plus as a teen? I'm 17 and I'm doing 16/8. I'm guessing you're talking about hours, not days. And yeah, you can absolutely perfectly safely fast for 24 hours or more if you want to. In fact, done properly at your age, you could fast much longer than that. I fasted many people your age for 21 days, even longer. Okay, but that of course requires having experienced guidance. In the meantime, if you want to experiment with going a little bit longer, you certainly can do that. No problem at all. Okay, no problem whatsoever. I have ulcerative colitis, Mac Wardy says. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but that is something your body can absolutely heal if you give it a chance. Needless to say, it's not going to heal very well as long as you're eating, right? Because if you're still taking in anything, calories or nutrients, what's happening is you've got this ulcerated tissue in your colon, and whatever you're consuming is brushing up against that, and it's going to be irritating to the tissue. And so it's very hard to heal when eating. Okay, if you're ready to take it to an incredibly new level, much higher level of health and vitality, I'd be very happy to help you. Okay, but you're going to want to reach out to me. You can do that at info@tanglewoodwellnesscenter.org. Write to me there, and we can talk about exactly what you need to do to be able to heal. Your body can heal. I've helped dozens of people heal from ulcerative colitis. All right, from Callie, can you give me any insight on removing a brain tumor? Well, sure. It's exactly the same as everything else. I mean, here's the thing. You have to understand with cancer. Okay, so first of all, tumor cells are your cells. Things that are harmful to tumors are harmful to you. And this is why chemotherapy and radiation, which aren't even possible with a brain tumor, um, are harmful to the body. And what most people don't understand is that the tumor itself is a symptom. It is not the problem. It's a symptom. The underlying problem is toxicity and poor immune function. What cancer treatments do is they make your body more toxic and they undermine your body's immune function. So even when the tumor goes away because of the treatment, it virtually always comes back much worse 3 to 5 years later. And I have worked with hundreds of people who'd been treated, who've been told they were healthy, and then it came back much worse than it was the first time. Okay, that's the way it typically works, because they're actually they're eliminating the symptom while making the underlying causes worse. So how does the body heal? Well, your body knows that those cells, that tumor doesn't belong there. Okay. Fasting done properly allows your body to eliminate the tumor and to actually heal the underlying issues. You eliminate the toxicity, you dramatically boost the body's immune function. And now, as long as you make excellent choices, it doesn't come back. Okay. So if you're ready to heal, I mean, if it were me, I would never get conventional treatment. Okay. I would literally never get conventional treatment. Again, I don't go to doctors. I would encourage you to avoid doctors as much as you possibly can. Medicine is about suppressing symptoms. It doesn't make you healthier. It makes you far less healthy, which is exactly what they want. Think about it. I mean, from medicine's perspective, what they want is to keep you alive, but sick, because that keeps you dependent on the system. And you continue to pay for drugs and medical treatments, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, for me, no, I mean, in my case, I haven't been to a doctor now in 39 years, with the exception of for trauma. Okay, you sever an artery, you want to get that treated. Otherwise, absolutely not. And if I were you, I would definitely be fasting. Now, you have to do it properly. It's critically important that it be done correctly. Okay, but I've helped thousands of people create amazing levels of health. And if you're ready to take back your health, reach out to me. Okay, info@tanglewoodwellnesscenter.org. Okay, or you're here with me on Instagram. So just shoot me a message right here on Instagram and let me know you're ready. You're very welcome, Dean. All right, let me see if there's other questions here. Yeah, Mac, I already responded to you. You absolutely can heal through fasting and then proper diet. Okay, if you want to take back your health, I'd be very, very happy to help you. They want to do a biopsy. Well, I'm not surprised, but I wouldn't let them do a biopsy. Biopsies tend to make it much worse. Okay, they're piercing the tumor, they wind up spreading it. That's, your body is trying to contain these rogue cells. That's what a tumor is. Okay, again, medicine completely messed up. If it were me, I wouldn't do it. You have to make your own choice, right? I can't give you medical advice, but if it were me, I'd be fasting. And I've helped various people heal from brain tumors through fasting. It's the only thing I would do for anything, because healing's a biological process. So only the body can heal the body. Fasting, done properly, it's simply the best way to allow the body to heal. It doesn't matter what the underlying issue is. That's the key. Is it okay to drink herbal tea while fasting? It's not. It's not. But again, I think, Dean, if you want to heal, you need to have experienced guidance. So you don't need to ask a bunch of questions. What you need to do is get yourself registered to have me guide you through the process, because that's how you get the very best results, guaranteed. Okay, people don't do this very well on their own. All right, it just doesn't work that way. You have to truly understand the process, what's going on, how much water your body needs each day. All right, that requires having that guidance. Yeah, you're very welcome from Cali. Let me know how I can help you. I mean, you can almost certainly. I will fast today. Well, you don't want to fast today. What you want to do is you want to get registered. Look, you're not going to fix this by fasting for a day or two. Okay, we're talking about 21 days or more. And if that sounds crazy, my average client fast, more than 12,000 people in the last 30 years have fasted for an average of 26 days. That's what it takes to heal something like a brain tumor. Okay, it's going to take you at least 21 days fasting. But you have to be prepared. You have to know what you're doing. We want to look at some blood tests first to see where things are. Okay, so what you want to do is reach out to me, and we can make it happen. Okay, and I get there might be budget issues. What's more important than your health? Okay, sell your car. Do whatever you have to do to make it happen, because this is how you get your health back, by doing it properly. You don't do it by doing it on your own. That's not very likely to succeed for most people. Do you take CMOS? No, I typically don't use CMOS. I've eaten it and I would eat it from time to time, but not something I would be doing on a regular basis. Uh, Anything special that you say or do to prepare family, friends before you do a long term fast? What I would say and do is I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be, at a retreat or working on something or doing a personal retreat, and I will be offline for a while. And then I would not be in touch with them any more than necessary. You don't want to tell people what you're doing. Okay. Most people do not understand fasting. They're going to freak out. They're going to try to convince you to stop. You're going to have all this negative energy coming at you. This is not the way to succeed. So I simply wouldn't tell people. Okay. I would tell them afterward. All right. Maria says, can I reverse white hair at 38? It depends, Maria, on why your hair is white. Um, in most cases, graying of hair, loss of pigment in hair is genetically predetermined. And if that's the case, then there isn't very much you can do about it. Okay. Now, if you've lost your hair color from poor nutrition or, something along those lines, then yeah, there's a possibility that you can regain that. And the way you do that is you get your body clean through fasting, and then you make excellent, optimal choices. There's no magic. Okay. I mean, nowhere is there magic, and people hate that. People want to believe that there are these, special things they can do. I'm just going to eat watermelon for 2 months and that's going to heal everything. No, actually, it won't. It's likely to create imbalances in your body instead. That's what happens, okay? Because no one food contains everything we need. Now, why do people get results? Well, because if watermelon is lighter than what they were eating before, and it is for most people, the body will be better able to detoxify. But long term, the longer you go, the more likely you're creating imbalances and deficiencies. Okay, don't do that. The body heals itself. We heal as well as possible when we support the body in doing exactly what it needs to do. That's the way we get the best results. Okay. Hello, Cannon. Good to see you here. Body's amazing, can heal itself if you leave him. Exactly. Exactly. That's right. All right. So I see we've got some folks with us here on YouTube as well. If you've got questions, don't hesitate to post them. I don't actually see. I guess maybe only when someone posts something. Right now I've got full screen. I don't see any questions. So I'm not sure what's going on there, but I guess that's what it is. All right. Other questions? Feel free to post them. But what I've said so far, this is a really important piece, and what Maria Battista Mariano is saying here, right? The body's amazing, can heal itself if you leave him, if you get out of its way. That's the piece that most people are impatient. They want to do something. They want to take something. They want to drink juices. They want to use supplements. They think this is the way to heal. It's not. These things do not heal the body. Now, are there people who've gotten healthier doing these things? Yeah, of course, absolutely. But you're missing the point. The point is that healing's a biological process. So how do we heal as well as possible? I mean, and don't you want to heal as well, as efficiently, and as effectively as you can? Well, the way to do that is what every other species does. Is they stop eating instinctively. They lose their appetite because processing food takes most of the body's energy. So when the body needs to heal, we want to rest as completely as possible. We want to sip only water, nothing else. Okay. And again, you want to have guidance to do this. Yeah, you can try it on your own. If that's what you want to do, you can. But people hurt themselves all the time not doing this correctly. And if you're one of these people, if you're dealing with ulcerative colitis, or you're dealing with a brain tumor, or you're dealing with, whatever, you probably want to heal as quickly as you can. Yeah, you can screw around with it and maybe you'll figure it out over the next 2, 3, 4 years, but you're going to be much better off, okay, having someone guide you through the process who already has figured all that out. Nobody has guided more people through the process than I have. What clothes do you wear? Cotton, polyester. I don't wear any polyester. I don't wear anything that isn't natural. Okay, our bodies need to breathe. Our skin needs to breathe. So organic cotton, linen, I've got on hemp jeans. I've got it all today. Okay, my socks and underwear are organic cotton. So I wear organic cotton, I wear hemp, I wear linen. Uh, that's it. I mean, I don't use polyester, I don't use nylon. I won't wear these substances. Now, sometimes your socks might be 2 or 3% or something. You know, you might have a little bit of spandex in the waistband of your underwear. That's okay. But the bulk of the fabric should be organic fabrics without petrochemicals involved. Okay. Yeah, throw away all the polyester. Polyester is not something you want to have on your body. Absolutely not. Especially, unfortunately, many women are wearing polyester underwear and bras, and this is going to affect you in these places that are actually most sensitive. Bed sheets should be cotton. Same thing. I mean, I don't want artificial materials, and this is something, any of you listening that ever had the opportunity to come to Tanglewood, I'm sorry the rest of you won't have that opportunity anymore because it's gone now due to some nasty humans out there. Um, we had no unnatural materials. Everything was natural. There was no pressed wood. It was all solid wood furniture. They were all untreated fabrics that we used for upholsteries and rugs and curtains and everything else. That's the way you want to do. I don't use perfume, no. And I would recommend staying away from most of those products as well, because they are, in most cases, they contain all kinds of ingredients that you don't want in your bloodstream, but that's where they're going to wind up. Okay, you're going to be absorbing things into the bloodstream. So I wouldn't recommend that. Okay. Now here's the cool thing. You get your body clean and you don't need scents. You don't need to have some artificial perfume or aftershave or anything else. Okay, my girlfriend smells amazing because she's got a clean body. She tells me I smell like fruit. Okay, I don't need to put anything on my body to smell good because it doesn't smell bad. Also, Wi-Fi is bad. Of course it is. Wi-Fi is terrible. So if you can, what you want to do, I mean, get a router that you can turn off, plug in, so you're connected with cable. Okay. Now that's, at Tanglewood, that's what I did. We had no Wi-Fi anywhere on site. Now I'm renting short term. It's a little bit of a different situation. All right. I'm 24 and not having any major health issues. Last 4 years, I've been vegetarian, mostly vegan. How many fasts will take me to get my body clean? Unfortunately, I can't answer the question based on the information you've given me because it's not enough. Where'd you grow up? It depends. Were there smokers around you? How clean was the air where you grew up? What else were you exposed to? It's different for every person. Most people your age fast 3 times for 21 days or more. I mean, one time done properly, okay, one time with me guiding you, and I guarantee you in writing, it's like you're living in a different body, okay? That's how much healthier you'll be. It's incredible what changes for most people. But for most people, if they were to fast a couple of times after that, they're just going to take it to a much higher level. And after that, they may not ever need to do it again. Wooden plates and spoons are fine. China is also fine. Ceramic is fine. Glass is fine. Plastic, of course, you don't want to be using, right? So I'm drinking out of a glass, not plastic. Metal utensils are fine. I have ceramic plates and metal utensils, perfectly fine. Okay, I'm not worried about that. Wood is okay too, but it's not absolutely necessary to use wood. Are parasite cleanses beneficial? Well, this comes back to something I said earlier, okay? What kills parasites, what kills cancer cells, I said, is harmful to you. What kills parasites is, generally speaking, harmful to you. There's one central nervous system design that's been found so far in every organism they've looked at. They've estimated to be 25, 30 million species, most of which are insects. They haven't examined all of them, but in every species examined so far, the central nervous system design is the same. And what that means is if something is toxic to one species, it will tend to be toxic to every species. Okay. You've probably heard the dose makes the poison. That's actually nonsense. Um, I mean, it needs to be properly interpreted. Some people think it means, well, it's not poisonous unless you take enough, and that's not true. It's poisonous. If you take in a little tiny bit of petroleum-based pesticides or herbicides, it's toxic to you. Okay. Now, it may not cause cancer with just a little bit, but it builds up. It's cumulative. So the idea of, it's okay. It's just a little bit. It's not poisonous. No, that's not true. It's always poison. Poison is poison. Okay. And so the problem with parasite cleanses is you're consuming something that's actually toxic to the organism in order to try to kill something inside the body, but you're going to harm the body at the same time. So I'd be very, very cautious about that. And here's the thing: fast properly and long enough, and the parasites leave your body. Get your body clean. There's nothing for them there. Okay. That's all you need to do. I mean, I know it sounds crazy. It's like, well, you're saying this can do everything. Well, here's the thing: cleansing and healing are biological processes. Okay. The body only can cleanse and heal the body. Fasting, when it's done properly, is simply the best way to get out of the body's way so it can cleanse and heal. Okay. That's all it is. That's what's going on. That's what makes it so powerful. Okay. So it does work. Apple cider vinegar is toxic to the body. All vinegar. Vinegar is also called wood alcohol. The formula is very, very similar to alcohol. Alcohol is a cellular poison. Vinegar is toxic to you. Who started the idea that apple cider vinegar was good for you? A guy selling apple cider vinegar who was shown to be dishonest on many accounts. So I personally wouldn't recommend it. Do I use an air purifier? Nope. But it would be important, might be important depending on where you live and what the air is like. Okay. Folks, again, I'm here on a temporary basis. I haven't signed a long-term lease. I'm renting a furnished apartment temporarily. There's a limit to how much stuff I can carry with me. I'm already pushing that limit. So I'm not buying any more stuff. I'm not trying to haul a bunch of stuff around. I don't know where I'm going to wind up. For the time being, I'm a little bit, homeless. I mean, I've got a place to sleep, but it's not my place. And so I don't know how long I'll be here. All right. So, Canon, that's fantastic. For anybody else, Canon says, thank you. I'm planning to fast with you soon. Excited to fast. Let me share something that I have shared over the last few weeks. And you're lucky that we're overwhelmed. We have so much going on. We kicked off our fasting reset. We're almost 2 weeks into a 4-week program now. So we actually started it nearly 2 weeks ago. We've had fantastic response so far. The people in the program are loving the program. It seems, and I think it's going to be a great program. So 2 things. For anybody who is not ready, if you're not ready to register, to sign up for a 21-day fast or longer, like you can't wrap your head around that, you might want to check out the fasting reset. And here's the thing: you want to do it now because we offered a founder's price. I'll still give you that rate, but once this one's over and we start booking the next one, the rate will never be the same. There's a significant discount for joining the fasting reset now. Reach out to me if you're interested, and I can hook you up with that. And for Canon and anybody else who already knows, no, I mean, that's great, but I want to do 21 days, 26 days, 30 days, whatever it is. Here's the thing, okay? And again, someone said to me, oh, you don't have to do that kind of marketing. No, this is simply the truth. Here's the truth about this. My rates haven't changed in 5 or 6 years, and they're about to. And the only reason they haven't already changed is because my team is so busy that we haven't been able to update the website. So the Tanglewood website is going to come down because most of what's there is no longer apropos. It doesn't apply to anything. The center is gone, right? I'm working with people remotely. So we've built a new website for the fasting reset, fasttorise.com. If you haven't been there, go check it out. Okay, fasttorise.com. What will be happening over the next week or so is we will be adding the ability to book your therapeutic fast there. Now, right now, what happens when someone says, okay, I'm ready to go, I'll say, great, give me your email, I'll send you an invoice. That's the way we do that. Okay. But that's all going to change. It's all going on to the new website. Once the website is up, the price is up too. Okay. My rates have lagged well behind everybody else out there. I mean, and there's no one out there, by the way, who has even a fraction as much experience as I do. Okay. There's a guy out there, some of you know, who wrote a big book in the raw vegan movement. He didn't actually write it. He paid somebody else to write it. He couldn't write to save his life. Someone else wrote the book for him who could actually write. He'd published several books before that never did anything. He has been fasting people for a long time, but he had a center that was shut down a long time ago for multiple sexual harassment charges. He was kicked out of the organization when he left someone very sick with someone who was inexperienced running the center, and was gone for a week, and that person died. And he was shut down. He was kicked out of the professional organization. This guy has very little experience because he's full-time center now for 20 plus years. So every year he fasts like one or two groups of people. Okay. And he's charging much more than I am, much more, and doesn't know what he's doing. Okay. Doesn't know what he's doing. So here's my point for Canon and anybody else. If you know you want this to happen, you're going to want to get this booked as soon as you can before the rates go up, because the rates will be going up. It could be a week from now. As soon as my team gets the website done, that's it. The rates are on the website. That's it. Okay. They're going to be what they're going to be. They are going up a bit. So you might want to book it sooner than later. Okay. That was the whole point of all that. All right. Joe sent a request to be in live. That's not going to happen, Joe. If you have an audience and you want to schedule a live that you can promote, I'll be very happy to go live with you and share as much as I can. Okay, but here it's just going to be me answering questions for another half an hour. Lena says, hello, Lena. Hey, dear Loren, when we eat raw non-fruit like nori, mushrooms, orange, cauliflower, carrots, beetroot, kohlrabi, I noticed you and Sylvie eat those sometimes. What happens in our digestion? Well, let's back up. We virtually never eat cauliflower. We hardly, if ever, eat beets. Mushrooms very infrequently. Nori every once in a while. True. And carrots. Sylvie likes to put carrots in sushi. I typically don't buy carrots. I don't have any carrots here. When she's here, I'll buy carrots. I mean, she has a 13-year-old who's not raw. So we keep things around because he's going to be eating cooked carrots. And every once in a while, she'll use some raw. I rarely, if ever, do. Okay. What happens when we eat these things, they're all different. So mushrooms, not so easy to digest. Cauliflower, cabbage, kale, broccoli, things that do not belong in the body and are very difficult for the body to digest in their raw state. This is why I typically don't eat them. I mean, I might make an exception here or there. Like if I'm at a raw vegan restaurant, there might be a little bit of one of these things in the meal, but I don't buy them. I don't buy kale. I don't buy cabbage. I don't buy cauliflower, broccoli, any of these things. Okay, we don't digest them well, and there's no reason to eat them. I mean, there's no advantage to eating things that we can't easily digest. We get far more benefits from eating fruits and soft leaves, which is what I've been doing now for 34 years. Actually, my 34th year anniversary of eating this way comes up in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, for 34 years, I don't eat those things the vast majority of the time. Okay. Let's see. We have a question here. How to oxygenate the cells? Easy. We eat properly. We drink spring water and we move our bodies. That's all we have to do. Again, we do not need to use anything special. There are people out there that are going to try to sell you, and what's there now. It might be different a year from now, 2 years from now. There's always going to be new products. This is going to give you more oxygen, even oxygen tanks, right? No, it's a terrible idea. We're meant to breathe air. Okay, we don't need to do any more than that. We eat properly, we drink spring water, we move our bodies. That's all we need to do. Nothing else. Okay, that's all it is. All right, I just got to Bali. I'm struggling so much with my health. Are you sure it's safe for me to go straight into a water fast with you? Yeah, excuse me. It would be ideal to eat as close to optimally as possible for several weeks first. But that's not 100% necessary. I've had a lot of people go right into a fast from a terrible diet. Okay. Now, smarter, first of all, it takes a little while to organize things. I'm going to want you to get your electrolytes checked first. You're going to have some tools. You're going to have a source of good spring water. And so even if you want to start as soon as possible, it might actually take a week or more. My recommendation would be to keep your diet as clean as you can for that week. But that's all you have to do, okay? You don't need to clean your house before the housekeeper comes, okay? You don't fix your car before you take it to the mechanic. Fasting is how our amazing bodies cleanse and heal themselves. There's nothing else you need to do, okay? So what I would suggest to you is you reach out to me as soon as possible so we can organize this so that you can get started as soon as you're able to, whatever the timing is. And again, you just heard me say a minute ago, the rate goes up, maybe as soon as a week from now or less. So the sooner you can make this happen, the better for you that way. All right, for they build up toxins in our gut. Well, it's not necessarily that they build up toxins in the gut, but when we eat something like you mentioned cauliflower, okay, we eat cauliflower, broccoli, kale, cabbage. These contain anti-nutrients which are absorbed into the bloodstream and then damage us. They damage the thyroid. They have goitrogenic compounds. Each of these cruciferous vegetables, they contain goitrogenic compounds that create swelling in the thyroid. Okay, so it's a good idea to consume these? Of course not. And then we're forcing the body to do all this work. We're consuming things that, because we don't digest well, they wind up fermenting. We get gas. We have all kinds of, they imbalance the body. They acidify the system. So we're far better off sticking to things that we're actually meant to eat. A lot of people think, well, because these are raw vegetables, they're fine. But we're not vegetable eaters. We're frugivores. We're meant to eat fruit and soft leaves only. So I don't eat vegetables most of the time. Okay, it's just fruits and soft leaves. And of course, a lot of things we think of as vegetables are actually fruits, including tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, avocados. Now, I just saw somebody out there, one of these self-proclaimed health experts is now telling people that tomatoes are bad for you because they are in the nightshade family. It's crazy how much misinformation is circulated. The problem with nightshade family plants is they contain a specific alkaloid which can be harmful to you. But when tomatoes and peppers, red, yellow, orange peppers, are ripe, they contain almost none. It's nothing you need to worry about, okay? These are perfectly healthy. I'll eat giant meals of tomatoes, okay? There's nothing wrong with them whatsoever. Now, eggplants and potatoes and tobacco and deadly nightshade, you should avoid, okay? These are not things our bodies are meant for. But tomatoes and peppers, perfectly fine, okay? Let me see here. I feel like I'm scared to go straight into it. Well, that's a whole different question, okay? But you would be wise to take some coaching. So here's the first step. Okay, go to tanglewoodwellnesscenter.com, complete the application on the page there. Complete that application. I'll respond to that in writing. We'll then initiate a conversation about where you are, what's going on, and what is and isn't safe for you. You can trust me. Okay, my goal is to help you take your health to an amazing new level. Doesn't matter to me if you do this now or 6 months from now. Okay, but you probably don't need to wait the way you think you do, because you're afraid, not because there's any inherent danger, but simply because you don't really fully understand the process. I do understand the process, having guided far more people through it than anybody alive today. Okay, so if you're, if you're not coachable, then I can't help you anyway. If you're coachable, chances are good. I mean, I will give you the advice you need to hear. First thing is I have to look at the information and see what's going on. Does soaking them in lemon help? No. Soaking them in lemon doesn't help. Thank you, Joe. There are nasty people out there. Sauna use impact in health vis-a-vis or combined with fasting. So definitely not with fasting. Okay, why not? Why don't we want to use a sauna while fasting? Well, it's very simple. Okay, when we're sweating, we're losing electrolytes. So what does a fasting animal do? All animals instinctively stop eating when they need to heal. What do? They lay down in the summertime in a cool place. In the wintertime, in like a cat or dog in a sunny window where they're going to feel warmed by the rays of the sun. Okay, we don't want to superheat the body. Okay, the body is self-healing, self-cleansing. We don't need to detox it with a sauna. Personally, I wouldn't ever recommend doing it, but definitely not when you're fasting. Okay, because you're going to lose electrolytes and put yourself in potential serious danger. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. Why did I get loose stools doing 2 days of juices to prepare? Juices are toxic crap. No one should be drinking juices. Okay. And I get it. It's confusing out there because there's so many voices. But think about this. I mean, a lot of people get loose stools with juices. We can never, ever improve on nature. Okay. Right now in the kitchen, I've got apples and pears and kiwis and bananas and avocados and lettuce and tomatoes and cucumbers. And that's about it right now. Okay. All those things are perfect foods for our bodies. Can I make them better running them through a juicer? No, we oxidize much of the value. Okay. If they're fruits, carrots, or beets, we have 4 to 5 times the glycemic load. This is not beneficial to us in any way. If they're green juices, now we have much too much whey concentrated protein. Okay. The best we can do is whole foods. Okay. I wouldn't tell anyone to drink juices preparing for a fast or for any other reason. Don't drink juices. Now, I mean, again, I believe in full transparency. Every once in a while, I'm out. It's a hot day. I'm in South Florida. Okay, I'm in the tropics somewhere. It's a hot day, and I can get a cold juice. I'll do that every once in a while. I mean, but it might be once a month. Okay, drinking juices on a regular basis and thinking you're helping yourself, you're not. You're not helping yourself. Yes, I know some people have healed by drinking juices. Juices don't heal anyone. They get better because the juices they're drinking are better than whatever they were consuming before, but far inferior to whole foods. Far inferior to whole foods. You've got to be clear about this. Okay, you've got to be completely clear about this. All right, I see lots more folks have joined us here. Welcome, everybody. Glad to see you. Now I'm gonna stop here because we've got about 17 minutes left, and I'm gonna keep going. But I see there's some folks here on YouTube. I see there's some folks here on Instagram, and I see a lot fewer likes than people. So if you're here and you're finding this valuable, useful, if you think this is helpful information, hey, give it a thumbs up, give it a like. Okay, show me some love, please. Okay, it helps. It helps get this in front of more people. And don't forget, you can share the links, right? You can share the link to this once it's done on your page, your channel, your groups, Let's get this information out to more people. We're never going to improve on nature. Juices are unnatural, largely oxidized. Most of the value is gone in a few minutes. The science is clear about this. Okay. And we've got these, ridiculously high amounts of sugar, high amounts of insulin, high amounts of protein. Not helpful. Is not helpful. All right. All right. Megan says, how can I support lung health after years of being exposed to smoke? You give your body the chance to detoxify by fasting long enough and properly. It's all you need to do. Your body is self-healing. It's amazing what happens when you give it that chance. Your body will clean out as much of the garbage as it can. It will heal anything that it can still heal. And it's incredible what it's still capable of. Okay. I mean, it's, again, super clear what your body is capable of doing. You just have to do it correctly. Been on optimal diet for 5 weeks, getting 5 liters of water a day, but recently been feeling constipated and also get thirsty when waiting 15 minutes before meals. What to do? I would keep doing what you're doing. Okay. Make sure you're sipping water slowly. When you're able to, you're going to want to fast. Okay. The only way we're ever going to get all the old hard waste out of the body is by fasting long enough and properly. So if you're ready to take it to a new level, let's make it happen. Okay. That's the way you do it. That this is the key. This is the reason. The reason I'm supervising fasts all these years isn't because it's the most fun I could ever have or the most lucrative thing I could be doing. It's not. It's because it's critically important for everyone. If you've spent 2, 3, 4, 5 decades on the planet already, you're going to need to give your body a chance to clean out the garbage. What juicer do you use? I don't use a juicer. I don't have one. Okay. I don't make juice. Again, if I'm out every once in a while, once a month, I might drink a juice. There's no reason to have a juicer. Juices are not healthy. I don't have one. I have in the past used a champion juicer because it's great for banana ice cream. And if you want every once in a while, do like a raw vegan pate or something like, a little bit more elaborated. And I'll eat those kinds of things every once in a while. Okay. Most of my meals are super, super simple. I don't need machines for those. What about sauerkraut? Sauerkraut is not optimal. It's okay to have a little bit once in a while if you want to. Where do you rank grapes in the hierarchy of healthful fruits? Living in the Northeast, I don't have access to a ton. Grapes are reliable. Well, grapes are okay. The problem with grapes is that they're not high in water. Most people are very dehydrated and need high water content foods. Grapes are not particularly high in water. It's okay to eat some grapes during the season, but it's not something I would be focused on. Broccoli sprouts for their nutritional value and sulforaphanes. We don't need anything except what we get from fruits and soft leaves. We don't need sulforaphanes. We don't have to think about that. Okay. We don't have to prevent cancer. We have to stop causing cancer. Okay. We don't need to worry about the nutritional value because the fruits and leafy greens have everything we need. So again, I will eat sprouts every once in a while if they're in a dish somewhere. I don't keep them most of the time. I don't have any here. We don't need them. We don't. Okay. Folks, everybody wants to overcomplicate things. I know you want to feel good. You're doing something good for yourself. Here's what you do. Mono fruit meals, high water content fruits. Okay. Mono fruit meals, simple green salads. That's it. That's all you need to do in terms of diet. The most important thing that everybody can do is give the body the chance to cleanse and heal itself through fasting. After that, incredible. All right. When fasting, is it normal to not have a bowel movement? Yeah, it is normal. Each situation is different. Again, what you really need is guidance to make sure that you're doing what you need to do, okay, for your body. That's what needs to happen. All right. Possible to have perfect spread, but be thirsty at the same time. Should I get more water each day despite perfect spread? Well, how do you know your spread is perfect? I recognize your name. I don't remember who you are. So I don't know if you've worked with me before because most people don't really understand this. Okay. So it is possible to have a perfect spread. A perfect spread, for those people who don't understand, medicine calls what I call spread medicine calls pulse pressure. It's the difference between systolic and diastolic pressure. So it is possible that you have consumed enough water to maintain the spread where it should be, water, diet, etc., but are still severely dehydrated. Okay. So yeah, it's perfectly possible that you're still going to feel thirsty at the same time because your body is still dehydrated, right? Again, we fix this by fasting long enough and properly, and then consistently making excellent choices. That's the way we do it. That's the only way. Okay, that's what works. All right. Hello there from Arusha. Nice to see you here. All right. Spring water is the best water there is, no doubt about it. Apple, kiwi, perfect, avocado. Can you grow your food in Florida? One can grow quite a bit of food here in Florida. Yeah. In South Florida, you can grow mangoes and papayas and pineapples and all kinds of fruits and leafy greens. Now, I'm in a tiny apartment. Again, I'm in a temporary situation. I'm not planning on staying here long term. I'm working to get my passport back. The same assholes who engineered the destruction of Tanglewood, the loss of everything, have me now stuck in the US. And once I have my passport, I probably won't stay. So I don't think I'm going to be investing in land here and planting trees that take, on average, 5 or 6 years to begin fruiting. That just doesn't make sense for me because I don't plan to be here long term. Okay, as you may know, I had more than 2,000 fruit trees at Tanglewood. Hundreds and hundreds of pineapple plants, etc. We had an incredible paradise there. I will recreate paradise, not necessarily on a commercial scale. That was 37 acres where we had space for 30 plus clients. I don't know that I'm ever going to do that again. But I'm going to definitely create a place for my partner, Sylvie, and I to live where we can raise her son, and maybe where we'll be able to bring in guests from time to time. We'll see. Is it safe to fast 7 days without supervision? Yeah, it's safe because there's a limit to how much damage you can do to yourself in 7 days. Okay, you'd be better off having supervision even for 7 days. It's always best to have supervision because most people don't really understand the process very well. Can we drink coconut water only to prepare before a long fast? Well, you could, but there's no reason to do that. Okay, consuming only one thing for any length of time is going to start to move you towards imbalances and deficiencies, which is where I started this conversation 45 minutes ago. Okay, so you don't need to do that. If you live in a place where you've got access to fresh coconuts, fantastic. If you don't have access to fresh coconuts, I wouldn't do it. Okay, the young Thai coconuts that are shipped are virtually all rancid because they have not been kept cold enough. So I wouldn't recommend those. I do not recommend juices, Dr. Knowledgeable. Okay, juices are far, far inferior to whole foods. So what I would recommend is watermelon, other melons, papayas, pineapples. The things that are high in water content are going to be best to prepare for the fast. Simple green salads. Okay, I wouldn't try living on coconut water for any length of time. You can have a meal of coconut water if you can get fresh coconuts every day. You can do that every day for a while if you want to. Okay, perfectly fine, but not something you want to be living on because you will create imbalances if you dramatically restrict your intake to any one thing. You've mentioned nuts create an acidic environment in the gut. Is the same with raw nori, mushrooms, fresh corn, and carrots? Do we have enzymes for the above, or does it all ferment to digest? So no, there's a difference, and it's not that they create an acidic environment in the gut. I mean, our stomach acid is acid, right? So we have an acidic stomach anytime there's protein involved, and all foods contain protein. So there's hydrochloric acid being secreted into the stomach, regardless of what you eat. If you're eating watermelon, it's a tiny amount. If you're eating nuts and seeds, it's a lot because there's a lot of protein there. Okay. The problem with nuts and seeds is that they're acid-forming foods. They tend to lower your body's pH, which means you're going to be losing calcium and other minerals from your bones. So is it a good idea to eat a lot of nuts and seeds? No. Can you eat a little bit of these things? Yeah, if you want to. But most people don't need much, and would be better off not eating very much of that. So with raw nori, a small amount of raw nori is perfectly fine. There's actually, in fact, it's been shown that nori contains viable B12, where for years with most seaweeds and algae, what you've got is a B12 analog that's not really usable by the body. Nori actually seems to contain active B12. So having a little bit of nori is perfectly fine. Okay, again, I wouldn't do it very often. I wouldn't do it every day. But if you want to eat nori, a little bit of nori once a week, that could actually be beneficial to you. Mushrooms, we have no reason to ever eat. I will eat them every once in a while. I don't know when I'll be back in San Diego, but one of my favorite raw vegan restaurants in the world is in San Diego, and they have an incredible mushroom quesadilla. I don't. Again, there's no mushrooms here in my kitchen. I don't buy mushrooms very often, but every once in a while I might eat something that contains some mushrooms. It's okay. We don't digest them that well. Okay, they're not really ideal for us, for sure. Corn, if it's fresh, is perfectly okay to eat. Okay, but it should be fresh. I mean, ideally, you pick it and eat it within a few hours at the most. Okay, longer than that, if you're buying it from the market, chances are good it's no good. Okay, if you grow it yourself, you buy from a farmer who grows it, and you buy from a stand where they just picked it, could be fantastic. Okay, could be perfectly fine. Carrots. Carrots are easier than most root vegetables. Like beets are almost completely undigestible by our bodies, raw beets, whereas carrots, a little bit easier to digest. So carrots, as long as they're organic, and should be always organic. I mean, everything should be organic, but it's really important with carrots. Every once in a while, eating some carrots isn't really a big problem. Okay, so each of these things are different. That's the moral here. Again, we're running out of time. We got about 5 minutes left. I'm going to answer more questions for you until we run out of time. I've got a call I need to jump onto at the bottom of the hour. But I'm going to ask one more time. If you're here and you're getting value from this, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up, give it a thumbs up. I can speak. I really can. All right. I always wondered why apples seem to be a forgotten fruit by raw vegans. Well, I can tell you personally, I'm not a huge fan of apples. I've got apples, I mentioned, because that's the time of year it is, right? There's not so many options. I'm disappointed. Locally, I'm not seeing the Achia persimmons this year. I haven't seen any. I've seen Fuyu persimmons, which aren't very exciting. I'm not super excited about the Fuyu persimmons. The Achias, the tall ones, I love those. The Fuyus don't do that much for me. So right now, there's just not so many options. I mean, I'm not even seeing a lot of organic grapes right now, and I do eat grapes sometimes, but I'm not seeing very many. So mostly it's too early for most citrus. There's not much organic citrus yet. In fact, I forgot to mention I do have some citrus, but I'm not eating a lot of citrus because it really is too early. Citrus season starts in another month or two in North America and Europe as well. So I know a lot of us, apples are forgotten fruit because they're just not that exciting. I'll eat them when I don't have other options. And that this time of year, lots of apples. I love nature. That's have shared for my friends to be blessed. Thanks for good info. You're very welcome. All right. Rona, hello there. You're amazing. Thank you. I appreciate that. You're very kind. 5 liters a day seems excessive for a person with a professional life. Peeing all the time is not convenient. Yeah, not going to argue with you. I couldn't give a shit about what's convenient. I'm telling you, first of all, when someone's fasting, they're not working. The whole point is to rest as completely as possible. Okay. In your normal life, I mean, I know people who drink more than 5 liters a day because that's what they need to stay hydrated until they get all the garbage out. So it has nothing to do with what's practical. Okay, I'm not interested in what's practical. People who are practical don't ever create amazing things. The amazing things in the world that you've seen and enjoyed and experienced have all been created by people who are not practical. all by people who said, I don't care what's practical. I'm just going to make this happen anyway. So yeah, it's not about what's practical. Okay. It's what people often need, whether it's easy or not. That's a whole different story. All right. Ketosis and fasting, explain to the viewers. Well, ketosis is nothing more than the name for what happens when the body is running on fat as opposed to carbohydrates. When we're fasting, right, we quickly use up the glycogen reserves in the liver. We don't actually take most of the muscle glycogen, we leave that. And so within a couple of days, we don't have any more sugar in the body. So what does the body do? Well, it switches over to running on fat. And ketones are a metabolic breakdown product from metabolizing fat. So when we're fasting, our bodies are running on ketones, and we're said to be in ketosis. Now, you could be in ketosis eating a bucket of lard every day. Okay? If you're not consuming carbohydrates and all you're getting is fat, you're going to be in ketosis. Does it mean your body is cleansing and healing? No. So being in ketosis is necessary because that's what happens when we're not eating, is we're going to be running mostly on ketones. There's also a tiny amount of muscle converted to sugar every day because your brain, your reproductive organs, and your spleen all require sugar. We're not getting much sugar from fat metabolism. So the body is going to convert tiny amounts of muscle. I know this because I've been measuring my clients' muscle every day now for 22 years, or so we see this is what's going on. But it's if done properly, when one fasts correctly, we can dramatically minimize the amount of muscle loss. Okay, so we don't really need to worry about that. What about toothpaste? Toothpaste is mostly garbage. I don't use it when fasting, only water. Okay, so ketosis, when you're fasting, you're going to be in ketosis, but that's not enough. Just being in ketosis doesn't tell us anything. Again, you could be eating, tons of fat and be in ketosis. Being in ketosis does not mean your body's cleansing or healing. It means your body's running on fat. That's all it is. All right, I was trying to comment on your YouTube, but looks like comments are off. I'm not sure what happened there, and I'm sorry about that. I didn't do that intentionally. I thought I had clicked on everyone can comment here, so I'm surprised to see no comments today. But I'm glad you're here. Now, unfortunately, this is it. I've got to go. I've got a group call with a group of people fasting with me now, followed by our fasting reset call, because this is the fasting week for the fasting reset. So I speak with them after that. That's the end of it for today. I will be back, and note, because I know it's been noon every week now for years. I've missed a few, but it's now going to be 11:30. Okay. And I'm only going to be doing this for a few more weeks. I'll just say one more quick thing. Some of you have heard me talk about this already. I'm seeing less value for me being here than I used to see. It doesn't seem to be moving a lot of people. I'm here. I'm answering a lot of the same questions over and over again. So we are kicking off something probably within the next week or so. And I'll let you know next Friday, if we're ready to go, I'll let you know, and I'll let you know how to get there, called the Fast to Rise Circle. The Circle is our online community. It is going to be amazing. I'm going to be live there every week. My girlfriend Sylvie will also appear sometimes. She'll be moderating. We're going to be offering all kinds of very cool things for you that are only for members of the community. Yes, it's a paid subscription model. However, we're offering an incredible founders discount for people who join as founders, which is going to be like in the next week or so. We're not ready yet, but soon. You're going to be able to get in at a ridiculously low rate and maintain that forever as long as you stay with us. Okay, just so you know. So I've got to go. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and a beautiful weekend. I've got a group of people waiting for me. I will look forward to seeing you next time. Again, give it a thumbs up, give it a like. Don't forget you can share this, and I'll see you same time next week. All right, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.